If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
This has been another episode sponsored by Online Horse College. If you haven't had a look at the wide variety of equine-specific accredited courses, then go to onlinehorsecollege.com and I'll see you over there. Today's guest is Sally Francis. Sally's been a consultant coach in Australia and New Zealand for Riding for Disabled, Pony Club. She's also been a team official for 5 Paralympics and 5 World Championships, and will talk to us today about Riding for Disabled, Paralympics, equine facilitated learning and Special Olympics. But she'll start off today with a favourite quote. How are you today, Sally?
I'm well, thank you. Coping with the wind down here.
It's a bit windy, is it? Okay. All right, Sally, you know we're going to ask you for a favourite quote. So what have you got?
My favourite quote is, "Fear of the future and regret of the past are the twin clouds that hide present happiness."
Yes, and I'm sure that's affected you in the past. So would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, certainly. I grew up in a riding school family, the youngest of 3, and quite a shy little person. And it seemed like I was definitely going to just stay on the family property and continue to run the business when I left school. But I did have the opportunity to do my Equestrian Australia Level 1 coaching with Mary Longden, who's a EA Level 3 coach. And I know I was really scared about doing that, fearing that I wasn't going to be good enough, able to get that coaching certificate. But I'm really glad I did run with it, and I did succeed, and then it just opened the doors for the future. And really that's where I started to get involved with Riding for the Disabled. And the rest is history, really. Yes,
and Mary's been a previous guest, so if people would like to listen to that, they could probably just go to horsechats.com and search for Mary Longden and they'll find that interview. Yeah. All right. Now, I was going to say, how did you start with Riding for Disabled, but I think you've already done that. And you grew up on the family property, so you started around horses fairly early. The actual decision, though, you thought it was always going to be a decision that you were going to work with horses and continue, because you still run the family property today, don't you?
Yes, I've come back to the family property.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. Just because of my love of horses. And I think, my mother was a pretty incredible role model for coaching. And my father for handling horses. So I just learned how to respect and love horses in a very natural way from the beginning.
Yep. So if someone's going to work in the horse industry, work with horses in the horse industry, and you talked about your father having those skills and your mother having the skills and you developed those skills, but if someone's coming in and you're looking for a job with you, say, what sort of core skills would you be looking for before you would offer them a position?
Yeah, it's great if they have that a natural ability with horses, and that respect and that feel of how to handle them safely, and just really wanting to be with horses and be with a horsey person. Just keep learning as much as you can from those experienced people, horse people out in the world.
And I'm sure you would have, come from when you first got qualified to say, right, well, I just know the basics, I will continue to learn.
Oh, yeah, yes, definitely. And it's so much, my big thing now is really keeping both horse and rider sound in body, mind and soul.
Yep.
So also developing that holistic approach to the equestrian world and to your equestrian endeavours. Yes, some people are racing to get to their goal, but they forget the bigger picture
Yep.
So
Yep.
very into that bigger picture. And then maybe having to step out of the square to achieve goals. So be very open-minded about how to make it best for both horse and rider.
Yep. Yep. What do you think's the best thing about working with horses and working in the horse industry?
They're such a beautiful animal, the horse.
Mm-hmm.
They're magic, really, and over the years, I've seen so much magic between a horse and rider.
Yep.
In different situations, from grassroots to Special Olympics and then Paralympics, and very lucky to be involved in a team where a rider got a gold medal in London. So, yeah, and that horse worldwide PB, such an amazing horse. He really helped to keep the whole team together at London, and his rider and all the other riders, their achievements are just amazing. So you also meet amazing human beings as well. But I think horse people have a great character and a great mind. So that's what I love about it.
Yes, it's surprising the amount of people who get into the industry for the horses but stay in the industry for people. Because the people, you don't go into it for the people, but then you find the people have just got that common bond and common thread and common interest and common passion. Yeah.
It is so true.
Yeah. That gold medal in London, was that your proudest moment?
Yeah, it was pretty special. Yes, but even before that, just enabling those riders to ride on that world stage at Greenwich. It was such a beautiful arena, looking across to Queen's Palace and across to London. So I remember the first day, our first rider going in, and I was just thinking, oh, wow, I've enabled this team to come and do this. So that was a very proud moment. And I still get emotional about it.
Even if you haven't got the gold medal, you'd still be pretty proud.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I had a lovely moment also at the Special Olympics. I organised 10 of my horses to be horses that the riders were able to ride. So it's all on borrowed horses. And one of my horses was the last horse to go in the competition, and at the end he finished. He just came sort of towards me, and I opened my arms, and he just put his head in my arms and said, "Oh, have I done it? Have I done a good enough job, Mum?" And so that was lovely too.
Good.
Yeah, and it's just when you see riders just achieving things you never thought they'd achieve.
Yeah.
So it's very special.
I know you started off with Mary Longden, but what made you really pursue the whole RDA, Special Olympics, Paralympics, equine facilitated learning? You've really sort of gone down that path. What happened from Mary, or was it really Mary's influence that started you and kept you going all the way through?
It was definitely Mary, and another girl, lady Sue Harris.
Yes.
Who was the state coach with RDA Victoria at that time, who has cerebral palsy and has also been to 2 Paralympics. We developed a friendship as we were training for our level 1, and then after we completed it, she sort of was very instrumental in me getting a job as the integration officer for RDA Victoria.
Yep. So.
Yeah, Sue very much as well. And then another lady, Wendy Mapleston, who used to bring riders from Templestowe RDA, who were from Uralla, most of them having cerebral palsy. They used to come here for camps at Tooradin. So from a young age, I was involved with that too. And Wendy Mapleston was a physio, so an amazing RDA coach, and then became president of RDA Victoria and Australia. So she also was very instrumental too. So from the beginning, I was very involved with very knowledgeable and influential people in RDA in Australia and internationally. So, it's very, very, very lucky.
Yeah. All right. Now, the difference, tell us the difference between and what the benefits are. We've got RDA, Paralympics. We've got equine facilitated learning. Sometimes there's a little bit of a grey area between, if you can define, just in your own words, the differences between different sectors.
Yeah, so Riding for the Disabled is a worldwide organisation and very strong in all countries, but especially came from all the Commonwealth countries, and allowing people with disabilities to enjoy horses and enjoy riding. And then there's different streams within RDA. So there's a therapeutic stream, and in Australia we have hippotherapy, which is working with a team, with a physio or an OT or a speech therapist, and a qualified horse handler, and an RDA coach and qualified sidewalkers to enable the therapist to run their treatment program with the horse. So the horse is giving their beautiful movement, their beautiful feel to enable the rider to improve their posture, their gait training. So we've had success with riders or clients being able to take their first steps after doing the program on the horse, because the horse moves their hind legs the same way that us humans move. So their impulses the horse gives to the rider client's muscles really assists for long-term benefits. So that's the therapy part of it. And then you've got a recreational activity, or as in learning how to ride, and then possibly being able to go and do trail riding, etc. Or carriage driving is also involved in RDA, and vaulting is another discipline in RDA. And then it streams off into the competitive line pathway, where we've got local competitions, and that can be dressage, show jumping, eventing, and games and Western Trail type events, and that can go to state and also to national. And then you can stream off into Special Olympics for riders with intellectual disabilities. So Australia's just become involved in that. So we've had riders going to international events, to the last one, and there's one coming up next year. Or then you can progress into integrating into EA competitions, pony club or adult riding club competitions, and then the ultimate is Paralympic competitions, which is dressage, and they have different grades depending on the rider's functional ability.
All right, now what about equine facilitated learning?
Yeah, so that is a beautiful program, really assisting people to be sound in their body, mind and soul, working with a horse to help them do that. So they have a trained facilitator, and it's really groundwork stuff that they do with the horse. So it improves their awareness of animals, being with an animal, how to communicate with an animal, to better communicate with people, how to become less fearful if they're fearful of animals, and how to work with another person to achieve goals, with the horse. So, and it can lead to riding as well, but it's really more experimental type learning in a more holistic type approach.
Wait, can you hear anything? No? That's because we're waiting for someone with a good quality horse product to be advertised here. If that's you, then contact us, horsechats@horsechats.com, and we'll send you the details. Thanks. Okay. You talked a bit about, with the hippotherapy, having the breakthrough where riders can use hippotherapy and use the movement of the horse to take their first steps. What sort of case studies or examples do you have of equine facilitated learning where people might have made breakthroughs?
Yeah, there is a lot around.
Mm-hmm.
And from my personal stuff that I've done with it, and I was very lucky to be introduced to it by Franklin Levison,
Yep.
who is a EFL guru. And so he was working with a young boy who was very shy, certainly couldn't make any eye contact or could not speak to a group of people. And he put him in the round yard with a horse and talked him through lunging this horse and lunging it over a jump. And to see then that young boy being able to actually complete the task and stop and give feedback to the group that were watching, and for him to actually to perform it in front of us, that was like, wow, that's very powerful. So that's when I sort of decided to get more involved with that.
Yep.
And also here at Turin Estate, it's a beautiful spot. So it enables people to who may be a little bit housebound, fear of leaving the house, to actually come to a really beautiful spot. And be with a magical horse.
Yes, and surrounded by nature.
Definitely.
Yep. All right, now with your role as a consultant coach for RDA, what sort of things do you do? What sort of expectations go along with that role? And what sort of benefits do you get? Just personal benefits that you might see, just improvement and, I suppose, goals being achieved. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, certainly. So I get invited to different states to run workshops, and it can be volunteer training. So, again, how to communicate with horses, really how to keep the horses happy in their work and longevity in the program, because it is quite a tricky situation for a horse because they're working with different leaders, sometimes with a rider that's asymmetrical and they have involuntary movement, and two sidewalkers as well. So it's quite a crowded situation. So I really try and think of it from the horse's point of view and how to lead them in the best possible way, how to warm them up in the best possible way, how to reward them with more hands-on grooming, little massages and all those types of things.
Yep.
And then making sure that the riders, looking at their functional ability and making sure that they're riding in the best position that they can and using the best type of aids that work for them, and maybe adaptive equipment to help them achieve those more subtle aids.
Okay.
So doing stuff like that, and of course training coaches become assistant coaches to level 1 coaches to level 2 coaches. And I also do the hippotherapy, horse handling, presenting and assessing, and also trying to get coaches to be more innovative in their ideas and allowing riders to achieve goals, measurable goals, and trying to introduce different disciplines into to RDA. So I'm very big on pole work and show jumping and those types of things.
What else? What other sort of innovative ideas have they had?
Yeah, and also just doing some interesting horse handling type exercises as well. Mm-hmm. And, I try to benefit both horse and riders, so trying to develop a very basic massage technique so that the rider can be involved in helping the horse as well, and learning how to do the basic massage and where it's safe to to massage a horse and where it's not. Those types of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, then now thinking about, because you've been involved with RDA for a long time and you would have seen quite a lot of changes over the years and progress, what do you think has been the biggest challenge or is the biggest challenge now going forward? You know, what can people, listeners, do to help promote RDA or riding for disabled and equine facilitated learning?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is always having enough volunteers to make the program work and enough skilled coaches to make the program progress.
Yep.
And then, of course, the most important part is the horse, and in making sure that we have sound, well-trained, well-maintained horses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the beginning we used to get very retired older horses that may have been a little limited in their physical and mental ability.
Yep.
But now we're realising that we need really sound in their body, mind, and soul. So I've gone back to that again, and how we keep them like that. And I also think we've got probably more riders that are on the autistic spectrum disorder.
Yep.
So there's more behavioural issues, and just always learning the best way to be able to deal with those situations, as well as being able to read each individual rider and how to match them to the appropriate horse.
Yes.
And to allow them to achieve in a safe but not overprotected way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's another skill that I try to bring in, so that riders are not always on the lead rope, that we really can do steps to get them to become an individual rider, independent rider, to, have the rein skills to be able to control a horse so that they can achieve lots of things.
All right, now say someone's coming in and they would like to be a volunteer with RDA. What's a common fault that you see when people first start, or a common misunderstanding that when people first start and first volunteer? What's something that, like a misconception they might come in with, and what can you say about it, how it can be fixed?
Yeah, so coming into a group, there certainly is a group dynamic, and you're really working as a team. So some people that come in with horsey knowledge have a set idea of how they think a horse should be handled.
Yep.
But they have to actually understand that RDA has a really great volunteer training system, and they need to follow that, and really need to work with the coach and with the whole team. A lot of times the environment can get just too much for a rider because there's just too much noise, etc. So that's also quite a tricky thing. And as a leader, that you're really helping to keep the horse in a safe place, as well as the rider, of course, so that you've got to really concentrate on that. And if you've got two side walkers, that the one becomes the spokesperson to relay the coach's message to the rider. So we're really trying to keep the noise level down, the unnecessary chatter down is really important. And it's really great if we can get some more men involved, because the male riders just love having guys around. But I think a lot of the time they're dealing with women, so that's really important. And everyone to be role models.
Okay, that's good.
So really think about that we're all there to be role models to the people that we're helping.
Good. Okay, good. If you're an equestrian coach or a horse riding instructor, or even if you aspire to be one, have a look at the free video series for horse riding instructors on the Horse Chats website. Go there now, have a look, horsechats.com. Now, Sally, what about a book for our listeners? Have you got something that you'd recommend them to read, something that's helped you along the way?
I suppose, yeah. It's Centered Riding by Sally Swift.
Yes.
That has really helped me with all my coaching, from beginner coaching, Pony Club, Adult Riding Club, and, of course, RDA. And I was very lucky to have attended a clinic that Sally Swift did with Richard Weiss. So I think it's really helped me to be a little bit like a position coach. I find that I can really help riders by getting to the core, the origin of their position, maybe weakness, and really help them work through that.
Yep.
So I always refer back to Sally Swift.
Okay. And remember, you can find all the books recommended by our guests at horsechats.com/books. You can have a look at the guest page for the individual book they recommended, or just look at the recommended books by order of popularity at horsechats.com/books. All right, that's a pretty popular book, that one.
Yeah, it is. And I'm thinking about writing a little one myself. So.
Good.
And that'll be called Aunt Sally's Riding Recipes. So.
Ooh, yeah. We'd love to have you back to talk about that as well. Yeah.
Yep, certainly.
So, Sally, what are you looking forward to now?
I've got the RDA State Championships this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
But I am actually going to New Zealand in October to present at their coaching workshop. So they've divided it into an advanced one and a more introductory coach workshop.
Yes.
So again, just very excited to be back in New Zealand working with those coaches and their horses. You don't often get the opportunity to do the more advanced stuff, so I'm very excited about doing that.
Good. All right. Now, you've talked about keeping the horse and rider sound in body, mind and soul. I think that is your overall philosophy, but anything else you'd like to say about that into a message to take away for our listeners? Yeah.
So just continue to work on your position. If you're a rider, even as a coach as well. You know, think about where you're positioning yourself to help riders achieve their goal.
Yep.
Back to the riding position, you know, you may have two coaches. You may even have a position coach that specialises on that, as well as a performance coach. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
I think this is a really, really important one. And just also go out and enjoy your horse every day. Have fun with your horse every day. I find sometimes it gets all too serious and a little competition driven. But remember, you've got to enjoy every moment.
Having fun and enjoyment, it's so important.
Yeah. And it helps the horse as well. If you can do those fun things, to help them coordinate themselves better, improve their balance, gets you making better choices, gets the horse making better choices, and gets you more in tune with each other. So I think that's very important.
All right. Sally, it's been very good talking to you today. You know, you've sort of come in with a bit of a different point of view. It's been good, the amount of information you had, and, you know, particularly in your role as consultant coach for Australia and New Zealand. So if people would like to contact you, how can they do that, Sally?
Yes, they can certainly do it through my mobile, my Facebook.
Okay.
Okay,
we'll put all those details on the Horse Chats page, which would be horsechats.com/Sally Francis, or go to horsechats.com, search for Sally or search for Francis.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. All right, Sally, thanks very much for talking to us. We hope to talk to you again sometime soon.
Great. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, if you're still there, you probably know that I'm absolutely passionate about education within the horse industry. That's why I host this podcast. My other venture is Online Horse College. Have a look now at onlinehorsecollege.com and I'll see you over there.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.